Good morning. Today we will be talking about reading and writing instruction, how the two are correlated. The first thing that I would like for you to do is think about something you've read recently. It can be a book, an article, an informational brochure, something that grabbed your attention. Think about something that you learned from it new and something else that you want to learn in the future. After you've answered these three questions in your mind, I want you to quickly turn to your elbow partner to the right or left of you. Tell them what you have read, what you're interested in, and have them ask you some more detailed questions about your answers. Now, once you have done that, this gives an example of something I've done in the classroom to kind of have a springboard for writing to tap into background knowledge and see what students might want to write about that they have read about or experienced. When we look at student achievement with intentional instruction for reading and writing, we look at how reading and writing develops. Buss actually talked about how initially students use pictures, oral language, wordplay, rhyming, different things for pre-reading skills that eventually build into pre-writing as well. Clay's research also talks about how children need multiple experiences with different types of print, engagement with different types of text, and the concept of text and how it works actually is what they need instructionally in order to eventually write about what they read. Good instruction builds on what students already know. So once you can tap into a student's background knowledge and work with them intentionally, you can figure out what they need to build on as far as characterizing how to get their decoding and encoding down on paper, give them a purpose for writing. Their purpose for reading and writing should correlate and not be taught in isolation. Um, Appleby characterizes writing as thinking with a pencil. So if students have a purpose for reading, if they know what they're reading, why they're reading, um, where to get the information, and when to utilize it, then they can use this to in turn their comprehension into writing from what they read. Skills are also taught on a continuum. They're learned on a continuum for reading and writing. Students need to be encouraged, and teachers need to investigate where they are on the continuum to teach them instructionally and intentionally exactly where to keep going from there. Cato suggested that teachers create writing rubrics with their students. That way, the student has more buy in. They understand exactly what is needed in their reading and writing assignments. And you can confer with your student right there within your writing reading block and not after the fact, so the student doesn't see it as two different activities. How teachers get support for these ideas is there's different ways they can do it. They could do it on a district level. They can have PD teachers that come in and teach reading and writing instruction. They could also do it school based as well. Marks was a teacher that I interviewed, and she told me about how she uses the curriculum being a writer. There are also websites you can use. There's Reading Rockets, Collaborative Classroom, and the Daily Five Cafe, which also goes with Daily Five reading and writing instruction. And she also talked about how student engagement and skill acquisition for application is very driven by correlating the two and just being hands on and right there with your students, and also working with your peers who are interested in using the same type of intentional instruction and mechanics and methods. One example that I would like to show you as far as instruction that was given to a student that was not necessarily intentional is example A. This student was given a vocabulary word to write a story about. You can see initially there are concerns with punctuation, spelling, there's no indentation, capitalization, and just basic organization. The student was not given a direct instruction for exactly what the teacher was looking for. Example B, this student shows indentation. They also show capitalization, punctuation, and